These tiny things right here are called frozen Charlotte dolls, and they were used back in the 1850s as children's bath toys, which is so weird to me because they're literally porcelain. They started off as just these innocent little things, but one day they became associated with this poem called Frozen Charlotte. The poem is about this girl who went out on this cold night and froze to death on New Year's Eve. And I'm not too sure how that poem really became associated with these dolls, but then they were called Frozen Charlotte dolls. So they were no longer bath toys and became collectibles. And whenever people received one, they usually got it in a coffin. So in other words, these were like death dolls. So I bought some. And these are authentically from the 1850s. It's crazy. Here's a closer view of them. They're kind of broken and dirty. And look at their cute little bums. I mean, come on.
You've got to shut the window. Lucky for you, it can't get in this time. But what about the front door?
This is the story about the blind woman who could see ghosts. So this girl who was blind at birth lived with her father on a single ranch house. So because she was blind at birth, she had spatial awareness. Pretty much she knew how far apart everything was based on what she touched. One day in the living room, the blind woman was talking to a ghost named Ellie. So Ellie said to the blind woman her name and asked her why her face was so messed up. So the blind woman then asked, "Why is my face messed up? What's wrong with it?" And at that point, the father then heard the conversation and snagged the blind woman out of the room and said, "Who were you talking to?" The blind woman then replied, "I was speaking to Ellie," and then the father laughed. Over the course of the next few months, the blind woman started speaking to over 13 ghosts. And each time she would speak, her father would get very, very upset at her for speaking to ghosts. So one day, the blind woman fell in the kitchen and had to call the paramedics. And once the paramedics arrived there, she asked, "Can my dad come with me to the hospital?" The paramedic then replied, "Your dad's been dead for 6 years." Make sure to like for a part 2.
Strangest sounds recorded in the ocean. Strangest sounds recorded in the ocean.